Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today I have kind of a quick video. I'm going to be going over the biggest Google Ads mistakes that I see painters making. And honestly, it's not just painters, it's most people who run Google Ads without doing enough research. Now I'm going to go over these, and where appropriate, I'm going to cut to myself, showing how to fix this or how not to make the mistake in the first place. Now, I've made a few videos on some of these in more detail, so if you want to watch those, I'm going to leave those in the description. Okay, so let's start. Number one is going to be definitely sending traffic to a website instead of a landing page. And I've made a whole video on landing pages. You can watch that. But really quick, I'll go over it here. Basically, a landing page is just a sales page. Its entire function is to convert clicks into leads. Okay, it's not about showing off your brand or to represent your online presence or anything like that. The only function is to get people to submit a form or call you, or whatever goal you wanted, whatever you actually started running Google Ads campaign for. So that's going to be the number one thing that's going to tank your conversion rates. And the second thing, which I see painters complaining about a lot, and like I said, it's most people who run Google Ads, they run into this problem. They complain about getting out of location leads. And this is something you can change in your location settings, and I'll go over this in just a second. I'll show you what it looks like inside the ad account so you can, get this right. And basically what happens is that people usually get the country right, but even then, a lot of people just don't. What happens is that someone will type, interior painting company near me, and they'll be in one part of the country, and you're in another. So obviously way outside your service area, and their ad will still and your ad will still show up for them, and they'll click on it because maybe it's not clear that you're in that other state or whatever, and they'll try to get in touch. They'll call you, they'll have clicked on your ad, so they'll have cost you money, and obviously there's no way they're going to turn into a lead, or excuse me, into a customer. So you're basically losing money on every single click. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into the ad account and show you what it looks like. Alright, so now I'm inside one of my test accounts. See here. So you just open up the ad account and go to settings and go to campaign settings. If anything, it should be account settings altogether. But for now, just stick to the campaign and select the campaign that you're currently running. Alright, so this is what should come up. Now, you see here where it says locations. Click on that. Now, you should always choose enter another location and then manually put in your state or the zip codes or the regions that you want to target. But more importantly, to make sure that you don't show up in areas that you don't want to show up in, you have to click on location options and then select here, presence or interest, people regularly in, or who've shown interest in your targeted locations. And in brackets it says recommended, but that's not the one you choose. You choose presence. You only want to target people who are in or regularly in your targeted locations. Okay, because these are the people that are likely to become leads that are going to actually have a house in that location. It's not people who've shown interest in your targeted locations, because that can just come up randomly or through, I don't know, there's so many scenarios where someone might type something and your ad can show up just because maybe they've shown interest in your targeted locations previously, or maybe they're thinking about moving, so they're looking at all the options. There are so many things. The point is that it's just going to be a waste of money, and you don't be, since you're paying for every click, you definitely don't want people to just come look at your nice website or your nice landing page. So this is how to make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure you select this one, presence, and then when it comes to up here, you select enter another location, and you actually put in the location that you want to target. And another thing you can do, that you should do, is to select the places that you don't want to show up in. So again, this is just to make sure everything is rock solid. So you've selected this, you've manually selected the areas that you want to show up in. So go here to locations, so you can select the places. You basically cancel everything else out. Go to excluded, and then press here. And now you can just exclude everything else, or you can just add locations in bulk. Now, I went over this in the first video where I showed how to create a campaign from start to finish. And basically, you want to put in the names of every single other state in your country or region, basically. This is just to make sure, because these things aren't perfect. The AI could still serve your ads to someone on the opposite side of the country, and you don't want that. So just to cover all your bases, you should be doing this as well. All right, now the third thing is not using negative keywords in your campaigns or using broad match keywords. So I made a whole video on negative keywords, and I'll link it. It should come up on the screen. And like I said, I'm going to leave all this stuff in the description. And I also spoke more about it in more detail in the video. Basically, negative keywords are words that you actively don't want to show up for. So if someone types that word in their search, you explicitly don't want your ad to show up for it. And like I said, this is good for making sure that you only get the best quality leads. So if you're not using that, then your ad is going to be showing up for all kinds of stuff that you might not want to show up for. So words like cheap, low cost, or any other word that you definitely don't want to be showing up for. And your ad will show up if you don't use negative keywords, and people will click on it. And again, it's just going to be a waste of your budget. The other thing, and I spoke a bit more about this in where I went over how to create the campaign, is using broad match keywords. Now, if you use broad match keywords, then you can show up for anything related to paint or painting. I've seen painting company ads show up when I look up things related to artistry, that kind of painting. So something completely different, and ads are still being served, and potentially people's money is being wasted. Because somebody could click on that accidentally, even if the ad copy makes very clear that this is for, interior painting or whatever, and it's not what the person was actually searching for. They could click on it just accidentally, and that counts against them. I spoke about this more in the video, like I said. Now the fourth thing is conversion tracking. I also made a video on that, and I spoke about it in more detail. But basically the way it works is that you're teaching Google's algorithm what type of leads you want. So whatever you count as a conversion in your account, you're teaching Google to go out and get you more people like that. So more people with that kind of search history who have shown that kind of intent. So maybe someone searched for painting services like 3 times in the past week, and then they clicked on your campaign and they converted. Now Google will know that, okay, so these kinds of people who have what are called these kind of buying signals, they're likely to convert. So they'll try to show your ads to more people like that. So that way you're only getting the best quality. But if you don't do that, then, or if you do it incorrectly, then Google can't learn, and it can't get you the type of leads you want. So basically the whole thing's just going to be a mess, and you're going to be paying for all sorts of random stuff. Basically just poor quality leads, which defeats the whole purpose of running ads on Google. So that's another really important thing. And the final thing that I've got here is not optimizing the account regularly. So this is a kind of a huge one. The thing with Google Ads is it's not a set it and forget it. There should be constant management. Now this obviously depends on how big your budget is. Some things you should be doing in there maybe daily, once every 3 days, once a week. The bigger your budget, the more frequently you need to do this because there's more data to sort through. But I'd say for most people, once a week is enough. If you can do it twice, then that's even better. But once a week should be fine. So as part of the optimizations, you want to be going in and removing the bad searches that you still showed up for. Even though you have negative keywords, you're not using broad match keywords, there could still be some pretty bad searches in there that are definitely never going to convert and that are actually harming your click-through rate. So it counts as someone seeing your ad but not clicking on it, and generally you don't want that to happen too much. I went over this in the previous video. The reason that you want a high click-through rate is because it'll give you a lower cost per click. So you definitely want to be blocking those kind of searches, and some of them you want to be adding as negative keywords altogether. Another kind of optimization is actually adding good searches that maybe you didn't think of, that you can see your ads are showing up for, and it's actually converting pretty well. So you want to be adding those to the account. And if you're using some kind of manual bidding strategy, then maybe you want to manually increase the bids on keywords, even though I don't recommend using a manual bidding strategy in the first place. That kind of thing, and maybe running split tests on the ad copy, but that's a bit more advanced. I think that's pretty much everything that I have for today. Now, like I said, I could make this much bigger if I wanted to. So just off the top of my head, another big problem that people make is they don't use all the space that Google gives them. So if you've ever tried to write one of these ads, you can see that they give you 15 headlines and I think 3 descriptions, and then a bunch of ad assets and extensions where you can basically write more things to take up more space on the page. which makes your ad more likely to be clicked on. That's why it's important to do that. But most people don't do that. They'll just put in like, 3, 5, 7. They'll put in the bare minimum and then basically just hope it works. Like I said, I could come up with more, but these are the main 5. And it's about the fundamentals, honestly. If you're doing all 5 of these things, then you'll probably be getting 80% of the results that you could be. And everything else on top of that is just finishing touches. Alright, that's everything I've got for this video. Hope you find it helpful. And if you're interested in management services, then you can go to the top comment and go to my website, book a call through there, see if there is a chance for us to work together. But otherwise, find this helpful and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.